Hello and welcome back to the King James Bible Sunday School channel on YouTube and Rumble, and to our day-by-day devotional from the going through the Call to Glory magazine or publication this year. And today is April the 21st, 2026. April 21st, 2026. The devotion is coming from Luke chapter 9, verse 48. Before we go to the devotion, we're going to get to our daily Bible reading schedules. Today's reading from this publication is going to be 1 Samuel chapters 1, 2, and 3, and Luke chapter 18, verse 1 through 17. That's 2 Samuel, chapters 1, 2, and 3, and Luke chapter 18, verses 1 through 17. On tomorrow will be 2 Samuel chapters 4, 5, and 6, and Luke chapter 18, verse 18 through 43. That's 2 Samuel 4, 5, and 6, and Luke chapter 18, verses 18 through 43. And then we have our ribbon markers, and look here on 1 second here. All right, and today's reading, if we're doing it through the year, if you're just taking it slowly, you want to finish up Numbers chapter 12 and 13, Psalm 34, read that. Finish Jeremiah chapter 13. Yeah, 3/4 of the way through Mark chapter 10, and finish up 2 Corinthians chapter 5, about 1/3 of the way through chapter 6. And then on tomorrow will be Numbers 14, about 2/3 of the way through that. Now, Psalm 35, about 1/3 of the way through Psalm 35. Halfway through Jeremiah 14, finish up Mark chapter 10, and 2 Corinthians chapter 6, about 2/3 of the way through that. And then we have our 6-month schedule through the 5 ribbons. And today's reading is going to be 1 Samuel chapter 28, 29, and 30, Psalm 118, verse 10 through 29, and Psalm 119, verse 1 through 9, Ezekiel 21, John chapter 2, Philemon verse 8 through 25, and Hebrews chapter 1, verses 1 through 3. That's 1 Samuel chapters 28, 29, and 30, Psalm 118, verse 10 through 29, Psalm 119, verses 1 through 9, Ezekiel 21, John chapter 2, and Philemon verses 8 through 25. That, of course, finishes the one chapter Philemon. And then Hebrews chapter 1, verse 1 through 3. Then on tomorrow will be 1 Samuel chapter 31, and 2 Samuel chapters 1 and 2, Psalm 119, verse 10 through 42, Ezekiel 22, John 3, Hebrews chapter 1, verse 4 through 14, and chapter 2, verse 1 through 9. Again, 1 Samuel chapter 31, 2 Samuel 1 and 2, Psalm 119, verse 10 through 42, Ezekiel chapter 22, and John chapter 3, Hebrews chapter 1, verse 4 through 14, and then Hebrews chapter 2, verse 1 through 9. Then for our 3-month schedule through the New Testament epistles, today finishing up James, reading James. Tomorrow be Titus chapter 1. Titus chapter 1. So James chapter 5 today, Titus chapter 1 tomorrow. Now the title today for the devotional is The Least. The verse, Luke chapter 9, verse 48. He that is least among you all, the same shall be great. He that is least among you all, the same shall be great. The least. By Dr. David Perdue, First Baptist Church, Milford, Delaware. The least. That's only part of the verse, so I do recommend you read more of the verse and, of course, context. When I was 14 years old, I began working at our church as a janitor. It was my job to keep the Sunday school area clean. When I graduated from Bible college, one of my jobs, again, was to keep the Sunday school area clean. In both cases, I was thrilled that I had the privilege of serving the Lord. In both cases, I was at the bottom level of the staff. Too many Christians today don't want to do the small, seemingly less important jobs. Jesus dealt with this when he said, "He that is least among you, the same shall be great." Luke chapter 9, verse 48. For a moment, consider three questions regarding being the least. First, what did you do yesterday that was not your job or was unpleasant? Someone had to clean up after a sick child. Some had to follow instructions by someone who was not as competent as they are. Some picked up after someone who should have done it himself. Second, what do you plan to do today that no one else wants to do? I've noticed that boys in our Christian school can throw a basketball into a small hoop 20 feet away, but can't make a basket with paper towels in a large trash can. Part of my daily plan is to pick up after that kind of litter. That's not a very glamorous job. Third, how will you respond when someone makes light of your lowly tasks? Will you become defensive, or will you thank the Lord that you had the privilege of being the least? Remember the words of Jesus when he said, "He that is least among you, the same shall be great." I'd rather be great in his eyes than in the eyes of other people. Right? And that's the devotion. I'll leave that to your consideration. And tomorrow's devotion for preparation is going to be from Proverbs chapter 10, verse 1. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 1. And I'll leave you with, again, an attempt to encourage you to be reading, trusting, studying, and staying true to the Word of God, regardless of anything going on around and about you and outside of that. Trust the Word of God, believe it, and let it guide your life. Let the Lord work on you through His Word. And we'll see you again tomorrow for another day by day devotional. Bye.